Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first unit in biomedical ethics. At this point, you've likely completed the introductory assignments and have begun to look through the textbook. The first chapter is going to introduce you to ethical reasoning, moral principles, and classical philosophical theories like utilitarianism and Kantian ethics. Then moves then you'll move into chapter 2 and 3, which introduces your first two case studies. So before we get into that, I have an optional video you can choose to watch and think about some questions. There are no points associated with it. And then a reading over what is a case study so you can begin to understand why you teach biomedical ethics through case studies and how by looking at historical cases rather than just making things up, it kind of gives us a better lens through which to view these ethical dilemmas. You'll then be asked to write your first large discussion post. I want you to remember that in this class, discussion posts are much more of a larger assignment than you may find in other online classes. Not to speak ill of any other class you may have taken, but sometimes discussion posts kind of get pushed to the side. They feel forced just as a way to kind of make you do something online. But in this class, discussion posts are really taking place of in-person discussion, in-person debates. And so there are a lot more points associated with them, and sometimes many more questions than you may be used to. I do ask, not that you will, but I feel free to use artificial intelligence to brainstorm. I use it all the time. I use Google's Gemini to help me with to plan rubrics and to give me ideas for some of my content or some of my assignments. But please, whether you're answering in a video or typing it out, please do not copy and paste. We can all tell, and it's just uncomfortable. You're not trying, the discussion posts are not for you to try and impress or try and get absolutely everything right. Part of this class is learning that in some cases there isn't necessarily a right or a wrong. It depends on your moral framework and your ethical way of viewing things. And so I just ask that you just use your own words. Um, Part of being human and part of taking a class is sometimes, even in these videos I record or the things I type, we make mistakes. We say things wrong, we stumble, we use the wrong adjective, whatever it might be. And so discussion posts are ways for us to kind of get to know you, hear your perspective, how you're answering the questions. We don't necessarily want to read something copy and pasted from Gemini or ChatGPT. We can do that ourselves. And so please don't. I just ask that you don't. You'll also come across your first exam. I do have a study guide posted under resources from the textbook, and so you can answer those questions if you want. And you'll have your first large writing assignment. And by large, I shouldn't have said large. I think it's 3 or 4 questions, as far as why we use case studies and why the textbook is mainly case studies. I'm already at the 3-minute mark, so I don't want to bore you much further, but just take a look at the next unit, because by this weekend, depending on whether you're taking this in the 8-week or the 16-week class, you need to start looking at the final project, look at that rubric posted under resources, begin to look at the textbook and get some ideas for which case study you're going to choose for your project. Everybody gets their own. Everyone's going to choose a different one. If 2 people choose the same one, I'll probably end up assigning a case study. And so try to choose your own and write it on that Google Sheet. And then let me know if you have any questions about the course, about the project, or about what's required of you. I wish you luck, not luck, right? Success, because your hard work is going to pay off. I wish you success in the class. Please let me know if you have any questions.